Energy Zone is known for two things, flames and JJ. And trust me, I have a lot to say about both. Before we begin though, I feel I should tell you that the run you're about to see, well, it's heavily edited. This is because there are a number of strats that I had to attempt a number of times to get them just right. So if you see trolls, bullets or flames flashing in and out of existence, well now you know why. Now as always, I have made sure that none of my splicing has affected the final time. Also, as usual, my turbo button is set to around 15 presses per second. That being said, we have a very important question to ask. What is the fastest that we can finish Energy Zone?
Challenge accepted.
Our first point of interest is the 3 steps right at the beginning of the stage. Now unfortunately we're going to lose a frame or two here whether we like it or not. There's no way to jump up all 3 without connecting with the top step on the way up, thus slowing us down. Next, we kill that troll and drop down. Now technically the safest strat would be to jump down so that you can fire down at any trolls below you, but for this particular video we're assuming that you're the luckiest son of a gun on the planet. Now we jump up onto the next ledge so we can avoid getting shot, jump the gap and drop down. This brings us to the second point of interest. If we jump through, that flame on the roof will take us out. We actually have to stop, although only for around 7 frames. Notice how close I get to the frame in this screenshot. You see, the less we wait, the better. 9 times out of 10 there's actually a bit of time save here for runners, even the pros. I mean, it's usually only a couple frames, but still. This brings us to the third point of interest, the 3 flame jump. Now, these 3 flames are actually on a global timer. Global timers start when you load up the game, so either it'll work or it won't. A lot of the time you'll find yourself ducking, either because you have to or just out of fear. Regardless, the only way to get through without slowing down is if we get the middle flame burning first. Another thing to note here is our jumping. Now think about waterfall, where you want your jumping to be as tight as possible. So in other words, standing for only 1 frame between jumps, which is the fastest you can make it. Jump positioning is also very important. We want our first jump to be as early as possible. But just be careful, because if you jump too early you'll hit your head on the ceiling, wasting valuable time. Positioning on the second jump doesn't really matter. The third jump, however, does matter. Now this time we need to jump as late as possible, as long as we don't hit the wall on the way up. Now some players will jump down here. As you can see, I decided to just drop down. Regardless, the next jump we make, we want to be as close to that flame as possible. Jumping up to the top ledge, we again want to jump as far to the right as possible without hitting the wall. Now beginners will grab the barrier down below, but this costs time, so we jump the flame and prepare for what is one of the most difficult strats in the entire game. Now you can use the pause glitch to make it a little easier, but again this costs time. See, if you jump at precisely the right moment, you can actually make it down through both flames without stopping. This is maybe the one situation where we sacrifice perfect positioning to make a strat work. Let me explain. The ideal situation is you want to run as far to the right as possible so that when you drop down you have less ground to cover, right? Remember, we always want to be moving horizontally as much as possible between jumps. Unfortunately, to make this strategy work, we have to jump pretty early. Now let's carry on running. Every runner you watch will jump up here unless they have the barrier. That's because the next strat is a little crazy. I mean, there's a reason we call it the leap of faith. This is our fourth point of interest. At first glance, that might look real easy, but take note of the flame above the jump. No, not that one. That one. That flame is the reason no one attempts this. You see, that particular flame is not on a global timer, rather it's on a random timer, meaning you never actually know when it's going to burn. Sometimes the delay is a few seconds, giving enough time to make it across without getting cooked, but sometimes the delay is so quick it's almost immediate. The fact is, while this strat technically is a little faster, it's just not worth it, especially being this late in the game. Trust me, you do not want to be on the run of your life only to mess it up on a bad leap of faith. Sacrifice the few frames, take the top route. Of course, we're assuming perfect luck in this video. Once you've made it through, we'll jump onto the next ledge. The jump is a little tight, but it's not too difficult. Now we have to duck for the next troll, and the less amount of time we stay ducking, the better. This is another place where even the most advanced runners can lose a frame or two. We'll drop off the edge and run towards the final flame on the stage. Be careful where you jump here. If you picked up the barrier, this is where it'll run out. Now this flame is triggered by proximity, so if we just try to jump through, we'll get burnt alive. So we want to make sure that the peak of our jump is after the flame is fully extended. It's actually possible to do this without connecting the wall on the way up to the ledge. After all that, the only thing left to do is face JJ. JJ, well, it's not so much that he's difficult, it's just that he can waste so much time. You see, he's rather unique in that he's the only boss who can move around. Let's take a closer look at how he works. JJ has 4, let's call them actions. The first is to throw discs. Now he'll throw between 1 and 3 discs. Okay, I can't prove 3 is his maximum, but I've never seen him throw 4. The second is to jump straight up. All this does is waste time, because most of your bullets will miss him. How many times can he jump? Well, the most I've seen is around 10 jumps. I'm not really sure if there is a maximum, to be honest, although I presume there must be. The third is to jump forwards or backwards. And the fourth is to run to the other side of the screen. Now the game selects actions at random, so we never actually know what JJ is going to do. Now, right off the bat, 2 of these actions are bad for us. Every time JJ jumps, it actually costs us around 2 seconds. If he jumps towards us, it costs us even more because we have to jump out the way. Of course, that's if we survive. If JJ runs towards us, we simply jump over him while shooting. Once he's past us, we turn around and shoot him in the back. Although not the fastest possible kill, it's still considered a really good JJ fight. That leaves us with 1 more action. Believe it or not, JJ throwing his discs is actually the best possible action for us, assuming your button mashing is good enough. All we need to do is run right up to him, duck down, and button mash as hard as we can. Now this is risky, because if he runs or jumps towards you, you're probably going to die. But it is the fastest way. All that's left to do is to run to the right hand side of the screen if you're not already there. As you've seen in this video, there's a fair amount of frame perfect movement needed for a 100% optimal run. There's also 2 places where we need extremely good luck. But if everything goes your way, the fastest that you can beat Energy Zone from when your lives appear on the screen to when you lose control of Bill is 59.42 seconds. Yeah, believe it or not, we can finish this stage in under a minute. As always, if you think I've missed anything or if I've gotten anything wrong, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the support. And remember, don't stop shooting.